Hi, y'all. It is the Southern Belle from Hell here, and I have quite a big build for you guys today. I was inspired by the build I did in my stream last Saturday, and I said, you know what? I want to do like a well thought out suburban home because I built that suburban home on stream just on the fly, just like randomly. So I did some research. Well, I say research. I looked at some pictures of like the average American suburban home. And you know, it's there's just so many. There's so many different styles, but this one really like stood out to me. And I'm going to link the description. Well, not the description. I'm going to link the picture of this real house down in the description. And it was, it has plans with it, but I didn't go by the plans. I just went with like the outside look and like the basic layout because I think the original plan was for it to have like 4 bedrooms, but I really wanted them to have a big back porch. And so I kind of, just did a few differences. Not a whole lot, but a few. So what I'm doing right now is kind of figuring out how to lay out the front porch and the back porch. So what I'm going to be doing is having these steps come up, and I'm also going to be raising the ground up a little bit because on the right side of the porch is a garage. So I want to have like the land raised up a little bit, so there's going to be like a little driveway. And the color scheme of the house, at least from the pictures, was just like beige and white, but I wanted to add some red. I don't know why. I thought like just red would be a good bold color to add with the beige and the white. And also, when I start landscaping, I thought it would just be, a nice little touch of color instead of just everything being, beige and white. Okay, so now we're doing the backyard. I wanted them to have a cute little pool area and an area that has a work shed as well as like a little play spot. I wasn't really sure how to group this family, just typical suburban family. So I was kind of making it up as I go along. So what I ended up coming up with was a teenage son and a child daughter, maybe recently out of the toddler stage. And of course, you can't have a suburban house without a picket fence. So I do like the privacy fence, but I also like just kind of wrap the sides as well as the front with a picket fence, because I'm like, leave it to Beaver. That's what it is. If you don't know what Leave It to Beaver is, you know what, TV land. That's all I can say. So we're doing the driveway, and what I'm trying to shoot for is realism, trying to go as realistic as possible. I do smooth out the yard a little bit. Oh, Kiwi is wanting to come in here. Oh, she's got to make an appearance. Kiwi's my cat, if you don't know. And as soon as I hit record, she loves to be in here. Okay, so so according to the picture, like staying true to the picture, there is this stone as well as like the beige clapboard, and I'm trying to make all of the edges, have this white trim. And I put some regular white clapboard where the garage is going to be to kind of make it look like a garage. I make it bigger, don't worry. I realized it was too small. And I had difficulty figuring out what windows to use. So I change it up quite a bit and I resize just different parts of the house because it, you know, as I was putting the windows up and everything, the dimensions just started to not look right. So I do a mix of these windows as well as the rounded version and the bigger version, basically, where there's 3 long windows like this and there's 2 long windows like this. So I kind of just stick with the same, I think it's like the craftsman style. I'm pretty sure that's what it says in build by mode. And I like these little windows here for like the garage area and the kitchen. And I think I even use them in the shed. So what we're doing is, like, this is when I start figuring out I've got to change up the dimensions of this house a little bit because it's starting to look kind of wonky. So I change up the roof and I go, you know what? The problem's not the roof. The problem is, you know, I'm going to have to stretch out like different parts of this house. So that's what I'm doing. Sometimes like the things that I come up with and what I'm trying to go off of the picture doesn't come out exactly the way it's looking in my mind. Well, at least like how it translates to The Sims. And then it's like, oh, wait, something's off. Not everything, you know, that's like a floor plan is going to look exactly like it on The Sims because it just doesn't work like that. So I have to remember that when I'm building off of a picture because, yeah, that's like, I had to do that. But I like having one garage bigger than the other because at least in my neighborhood, we all have like a little garage like that. And like I have one big garage, but like the houses around me that have 2 garages, it's one big one and then one like kind of tiny one, really to put their golf carts in. I live in a golf cart community. So I had this idea, and I don't know how well I executed it, but to put these little knobs where like the doors would be in the garage. I hope that was obvious. Because if not, I don't know. It was a random idea, and I was like, well, you know, let's go for it. It's my video. I can do this. I put this oak tree in the back because I just felt like it added more coziness to the backyard. And right now, like what I like to do when I'm landscaping is put out all of the plants I'm probably going to use. So I don't have to keep stopping and searching back in the build by menu. So I have some stuff out and I wanted to put wildflowers around the base of the trees. And I wanted to have the hedges, but also have, you know, little shrubs and little flowers on the outskirts of the hedges. And I have little spurts of grass that I'm going to scatter around just to make it look more realistic. Because to me, like, the paint that we use, like, you know, for the grass, it's just so flat to me. I like that, you know, when I add the grass, it gives it some kind of dimension. And that's what I try to mimic, some type of depth and dimension around this lot. And my poor cat. She's having a fit. I guess I'm going to have to open the door and have her come in. So where we have this little shed area, I didn't want to make it look extremely manicured. Like, this is the skill area and this is, you know, the extra storage area for this family. So like I wrap it around with hedges, but I also just put like a few shrubs and things and just in this little spot. And because the ground isn't level, what I'm trying to do using this tool mod by Twisted Mexi is just like fit everything to where it's not floating on top of the ground. I love landscaping. It just takes a while. So if you want to speed through this part, I completely understand. But at least to me, like when I watch build videos, I don't know why. It's kind of relaxing to watch like these little plants and pieces come together. That's why I didn't like speed up this part of the video like I usually do. Because I'm like, well, you know, I enjoy this part of build videos. But if you don't, just, you know, you can skip through this part. It's fine. But in this landscaping color scheme I have going on, it's much like the house. It's mostly white flowers and touches of red rose bushes, but mostly greenery. I liked the way the greenery looked. To me, it just seemed like it kind of fit in. I didn't want this family to look like it manicures really well. You know, I have some overgrowth, some spots, you know, that need to be trimmed up. Again, I'm trying to just make it look realistic. I probably OD on the plants. I always do because this part is so much fun to me. But to me, it turned out looking great. I also have the red flowers in the flower boxes that I'm gonna put up, and to me that just completed the outside. This touch of red with, you know, against the beige and white look. I don't know. I rarely build houses that like I put up on the gallery where I'm like, I'm gonna make Sims to live in here. You know, like I enjoy what I build, but also like with my gameplay, I don't know, like I make their own houses that fit them. So I never hardly use anything I build because it's not fitting for them. It's fitting some other scenario in my brain. And this is one of the builds where I'm like, I want to make this work. Whatever's happening with my Sim families, I'm going to make them live in this house. I just got really excited about this build, and I hope you guys do too. So what I'm doing now is I'm just scattering around like grass and that ground cover to make it look more realistic, because I just really don't care for the flat green paint basically that is on the ground. It doesn't look realistic to me. It just doesn't. So I add like little sprigs of grass, little overgrowth from, you know, the shrubs and things like that. And I just enjoy doing that. If it doesn't look neat, let me know. I love hearing your feedback. It truly is making me a better builder. And thank you guys for all of your kind words and constructive criticism. So after this, we are going to work on just shading and making sure like everything looks even, you know, more realistic, you know, to show there's actually dirt here. And the spot where we have our little work shed, I make it a little bit darker because it's deeper in the ground. I thought that added a little bit more detail to the location. And I decided to put some garden stones down. So I'm going to have garden stones here and the front entrance. And what I like to do is get the garden stones, kind of make a pattern with it, and then fill in the spaces with, you know, a certain type of stone. You know, resize it if need be, all of that great stuff. And to me, that just like makes it look more organic and full. You know, like not as many missing pieces in between the stones. And also it helps me when we have a pathway like this that's kind of curved. You know, it's not straight like the entrance to the house was. So I'm kind of just giving out tips. If you guys want to get into building, or you're trying to figure out like, well, how do I make it look more realistic? So at this pool, I usually do like all blue wall coverings and things like that. But I actually went beige, and I put, it was off camera because it was actually kind of difficult, on the floor, these designs from the rug items to make kind of like that little curve, you know, I don't know what you call it, but it basically looks like molding on the bottom of the pool. And I've done that like in houses but not in pools before, and I just thought it turned out like kind of cool, kind of different. So this is kind of like miscellaneous. I'm filling up spaces with like, you know, the kids' toys, you know, mom's gardening equipment. I end up doing away with the bonfire setup because I wanted that spot for, you know, the little girl's old slide, because to me, you know, that really kind of puts forth that this is a family home. You know, we got more toys out there. And the garage, I was thinking, you know, let's put the family van in there, but also have, you know, like a truck, maybe dad's work truck, or maybe they got a truck for their son at, you know, in high school and things like that. So mapping out the second floor, I wanted to be a little bit different with the parents' room. I wanted to kind of give them just a little bit more like personality. So I make the parents' room a little different, maybe kind of odd. You'll see when we get there. But I was trying to think outside the box, and maybe I did well. I don't know. That's up to you guys. So the kitchen area, I wanted it to be really big and kind of wrapping around the side of the house because, you know, this is where the family has their holidays and their birthdays, and they meet up here before going to school and after school before they, you know, settle in to do their homework. And I just really tried to picture, you know, what would be a big, full family house. Because I didn't grow up in a big house, you know. I grew up with a single mom. And, you know, like, I'm trying to use, like, my background knowledge of sitcoms and things like that. The single mom struggles. Oh, I'm gonna end up just hurting that cat. I let her in, and she wanted to go back outside. I let her out, and she is still meowing at this door. I am so sorry if that's annoying, but she is my baby. All right, so we're kind of doing the wall coverings, and I was trying to kind of stay pretty neutral. I didn't want extremely loud colors. Really, because loud colors to me don't say Suburban. I could be wrong. But I do have, you know, the teenage son's room, a different color, and the daughter's room, a different color. and the parents' room like a good, natural green. Neutral tones is what I was shooting for. Now the garage, I try to make it big because I wanted to put a lot of clutter in there, like storage clutter and things like that, as well as, their washer and dryer and things like that. And to me, it just came out pretty fitting because at least, most houses, their laundry room or whatever is kind of off in the corner or, hidden somewhere, like we're ashamed that we do laundry. and it's crazy to me because sometimes I watch these videos and I learn so much about other cultures where, sometimes the laundry room is just right there in the kitchen. Mine is actually in the kitchen. And it's the first house I've ever lived in where my laundry area is in the kitchen. And I can't remember who I was watching. I want to say it was Jessica Pye. And she was saying that was like, kind of normal, at least in Britain, to have a washer and dryer, out in the open in the kitchen. And I was like, hey, I have that in Mississippi. I felt so special. Okay, I'm going off topic here. Okay, so we're doing the entryway, and I kind of struggled with, because I wanted to put a shelving unit in here, but I also wanted to put this area, with the shelf that has like stuff you can hang up. So I do away with the shelf and I keep this, and I decide to have a couple of entryway tables that's going to have clutter on it, where the parents lay down their keys and the kids just lay down, their water bottles and things like that. I didn't want this house to look extremely neat because to me that's not realistic. I mean, when I think of a working mom and working dad and they have kids in school, especially in this type of family that I'm picturing where they're really close knit and have a good family dynamic, they're more into like spending time with their kids than focusing on everything having its own place. So I'm trying to like have everything scattered about, but not, how do I put it? Not dirty. You know what I mean? Just not. I'll feel it telepathically, if you know what I mean. And if you've watched my videos before, I do tend to jump around a lot, and I do apologize. I think I'm getting better though. So while I was working on the entryway, I said, okay, I know how to decorate the front porch. And I decided to put like a little area, with 2 chairs, but then have this bench with the rug from Laundry Day. And I just think that turned out so cute. And, just try to keep the front pretty simple because the back porch is going to have a little bit more stuff going on. So this kitchen, I absolutely loved these counters, and I was trying to figure out like what can I do with them, like shape wise. So you see me like trying to play around because I knew I wanted a little island space for people to sit and have their coffee, have their breakfast and stuff. And I love the little dining area. I put like this little off the side nook. But this is where I ran into like the cabinets that go with these counters. I hated them. I do end up using them on one side of the kitchen, but not this, really wide side where the oven is, because the cabinets, they all look exactly the same like this with, it's open and has the same stuff in it. And there's only like the corners that are covered. So I didn't want to have the same look over and over and over, you know, with the same kind of stuff in it. So I found these other cabinets that have kind of the same shade, like wood swatch. And I'm just kind of messing around with the placement because I want it to look really full. I want it to look, you know, like this kitchen is an important part of the house, and it's got everything that, you know, everyone needs to have a good meal, a good celebration, and what have you. So I play around a lot with it because I really, really wanted this kitchen to look good. Which I think it did. You know, now that I'm done, I'm looking at it and I'm like, there are a couple things, like I wish I would have added a little bit more decorations to it. But right now I'm putting down clutter on top of the red shelf. And I think about using this divider, but I change it pretty soon because I found another divider. And here we go. It's this one because I like the stained glass. And to me, it just kind of fit in more with the design of this house. So like clutter wise, I knew I wanted to have like the vegetables and a lot of plates, like the vegetables in the cans, I mean. So I wanted to have like a little shelf in this corner, but I couldn't figure out what shelf to use. So I actually ended up kind of making my own with these pieces of coffee decor. So that little area, that little spot that's open in between that and the cabinet, that's where I end up putting the peppers in the jar. And to me, I don't know why it excited me. I went, oh, look at that. I wanted to have like little cute things around the kitchen, maybe that like the daughter made or mom made, and you know, her knitting class or whatnot. And this little area, I felt like it looked too empty. So I added, you know, those pictures of, you know, the fruits and stuff. But I really liked how this kitchen turned out as far as like the layout. I do wish I would have put a little bit more decor. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, maybe I should have done some things different. Like this side, I wish I would have put like a little, you know, painting or drawing of coffee or something in there. I picture this family having a dog, especially the teenage son. Like, you know, maybe mom and dad bought him this dog when he was, you know, a toddler or something. And he has the dog and it has become the family dog. Like they love this animal. So I have his little spot over here and this little, you know, eating breakfast nook. And I just try to like scatter it around with like playful decor. Not necessarily fancy, but like, you know, family, fun, you know, colorful, not necessarily something that's going to be hanging up in a museum. Things like that. So here's this friggin' shelf again. I end up doing away with it. I really, really wanted to keep it. I loved that shelf, but to me, it didn't fit in anywhere. So I still have it hanging around, but I'm about to get rid of it. The living room, I wanted it to look super cozy. Like this is where mom and dad and the kids, we all hang out for movie night. We may invite a couple friends over. And I wanted the couch and the chairs and everything to look like, you know, you can just nestle up in it and go to sleep watching, you know, your favorite movie or something. And I make this little, you know, entertainment center out of the sides of this fireplace just to give it a little bit more fullness in this corner. And these shelves to me just fit better. The shade of the wood fit, you know, that side of the room, and it didn't seem to be as clunky as the other shelf, if that makes sense. So where the long table is, that's where I was thinking about having them have like their little study area with, you know, their computers and where they do their homework. I wanted to have like a little play area for the little girl, and I struggled like, what toy should I put down here? And finally I settled on the little cardboard playhouse, because to me it just kind of fit in with the colors and kind of the style of the rest of the living room. I wanted to put like different rugs here, just to like, to me it looks cozy when you have multiple rugs, and the choice with the other rugs just was a little bit too loud, so I kind of just, you know, mix matched my own. And I put another little entry table because, you know, this family has a lot going on. They've got their pool outside. The kids are into a bunch of stuff. Mom and dad are into a bunch of stuff. I picture dad as being like a handyman, grill master, you know, your typical suburban dad, basically. And I picture mom like dabbling in gardening, doing some art, maybe, you know, trying her hand out at knitting. She loves cooking. You know, basically, I hate to gender role, but you know what I mean. Like the typical whatever family. Just trying to like give these Sims some type of personality where I can fit a scenario. And there's so many options. There's so many things, you know, and ways to go about this. I love this shelf. I had so much fun trying to think of, okay, how do I fill this shelf up? And I loved it. Like after it got all filled up, I'm like, that's awesome. I just had so much fun building this house. I loved adding different, you know, decor pieces here and there, and to me the clutter just really gives this house personality. And yeah, I'm definitely going to use it in the future. I've got a family right now that's not a part of my series that I think this would be perfect for. All right, so we are finishing up the living room. I wanted to add some, you know, cute little decor, maybe some pictures of, you know, kid drawings, and like paintings with neutral colors, but, you know, colors that still, you know, kind of fit in with, you know, the rest of the vibes happening. We are going to add this washer and dryer to the garage and have our little laundry area. And I decided to add like, you know, some tires, some tools, and we're going to add a utility box and a water heater. Now this mop, I'm going to rotate it and then put it up against the wall with the tool mod. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, tool mod is my BFF. Absolutely love it. Twisted Mexi, if you ever see this, which I doubt you will, but if you do, you're awesome. Okay, so I was trying to make this garage area just realistic, because I know my garage area is filled with boxes. You know, I've got clutter everywhere. So that's where I was going with that. And, you know, we have that area and the shed area for the family storage. So, and this is the downstairs guest bathroom. I make it look, you know, pretty neat and, you know, a little bit more decorated than the other bathrooms. I mean, the other bathrooms are decorated, but this is more like neutral, like anyone can come up in here and, you know, if they stay the night, it's got what you need, and, things like that. Mom and dad in the kids' bathrooms, like you can tell it's, for them specifically. But I thought this little guest bathroom was super cute. And moving on to the second floor, I wanted to, kind of do the same thing as I did to the entry. Have these little clutter items and shelves, for this family that's on the go. Have some extra towels here and there. When it comes to like the art pieces, I was thinking about, putting some pretty pictures up, but also old pictures, maybe of family or maybe of, the town that they live in, which is Newcrest. Something that kind of gives an idea of the location that they're in. So now we're just adding another little hallway table because I love hallway tables. Really just due to the fact that I really don't know what to put in these areas besides little hallway tables. And I love my personal hallway tables. It's full of books. All right, so this is actually like my favorite little cabinet because it's not full of just dishes. We've got towels, we've got a little box already in there. I wish we had more hutches that weren't just like filled with dishes. I wish there was more like utility closets and things like that. Again, I jumped around and I realized, wait, I didn't do the door from the inside of the garage. So I went and corrected that. Now we're working on mom and dad's room. So I wanted to put like a little book nook and have the TV above one of the shelves. So I'm just kind of like putting these shelves around the corner, having some hanging plants above this little, cozy looking couch. And maybe mom and dad, like this is their spot where they come to relax after, a long day's work and after the kids have gone to bed and such. So I'm just kind of like using the different swatches, and I could not get that last shelf to sit. So you see me kind of like fighting with my mouse, like, come on, sit on top of that shelf. Since this is kind of a snug room, instead of having end tables, I decided to put these little modular shelves and kind of make, a little center for it. I try to get a little creative here and have like a little open entryway to the rest of their bedroom. I thought it kind of added more to this coziness. We have a lot of nature elements happening in here. And to me, that kind of looks a little bit like a garden fence. So I decided to put that up as a room divider / decor piece. So we're just kind of like filling in that shelf area with little knickknacks like, dad's watch, mom's jewelry, and things like that. And some nature paintings. Maybe mom's into painting or maybe dad. Either one. But I definitely see dad as a handyman. If it's broke, he can fix it. That type of person. I'm making their walk-in shower, and for some reason this window was giving me the hardest time. Like it would not pull up and be level with the door. I finally got it, but it was so annoying. It just wouldn't do it for me. So, I mean, like, there's nothing extremely special about their bathroom, besides like the little walk-in shower. I just try to like fill up the space with personal clutter items, dad's comb, and I put, his razor up there, mom's little, Scentsy beads and makeup, perfume, things like that. I was trying to think, because I've been having fun going overboard with bathrooms in my builds and making it like super fancy. But I'm like, in your typical suburban house, you don't have, these huge lifted tubs that's, you have to walk down 2 or 3 steps or walk up 2 or 3 steps to get to, and you don't have a waterfall coming down. So yeah, I just kept it, pretty generic. And I decided to add some little pillows to their area because I just really ended up loving their bedroom. Like, it looked like something you can just, hang out and read a good book in. So now we're working on the teenage son's room, and I just had fun picturing like what he might be into. I have some sports equipment around, but I was thinking maybe he also is into music. Maybe he's getting into the guitar. He likes to have his friends over and, play video games and things like that. I don't see him big into the computer, so I just give him like a little desk. And I was thinking maybe he was into planes as, a little boy, and he might still want to, be a pilot or something. Or, he's just into like a bunch of things. I put a bed down for his dog. Like, that is his buddy. So he's, of course, going to have the dog sleep in the same room as him. And I really like these pictures of the planes. Like, it goes well with the lamps by his bed, and to me, it adds a little bit more of a backstory to, this teenager. He's not just, plopped down as a teenager. You see like little remnants of things he was also into as a child. And for the little girl here, I always go with pink as for little girls just because there's so many decor items that just look better pink. But I tried to throw as many other different colors in there that could be like neutral. I thought the curtains really gave me that freedom to add, blues in there, some browns, greens, things like that. And I tried not to like stick to a certain style because at least realistically, a kid's room is full of all sorts of stuff. You may have Barbie dolls on one side and then, gaming stuff on the other. At least, like with me as a child, I had Barbies and Batman. So I had a bunch of stuff happening in my room. So I try to like put that forth that, it's not just one style this little girl's into. She's into a bunch of different things. And I decided to put like these little pictures up on the outside of their door just because I've never done that, and I'm like, I can do that, why not do it? So the kids' bathroom that they share, I try to mix in elements that, there's a teenager in here, and then there's also a little girl. So we had, different bath toys. We've got some like shaving cream and things like that for the son, and like toothpaste, things like that. And I still make it kind of kid-like because probably the parents are like, no, we're not going to change the bathroom because your little sister enjoys it. We're going to keep the bathroom the same way it was when you were a little boy. And he just has to compromise. All right, so now we are working on the shed, and I just kind of pictured this to be another storage area / outdoor activity spot where, mom can, work on her flowers and her gardening, and dad has his little workbench and things like that. And I absolutely loved the way this turned out, this kind of disheveled area that just has, miscellaneous items in it. I used a lot of stuff from the Basement Treasures kit, and I just absolutely love it. It looks like a shed. I put a little boom box in there, you know, some stuff maybe from, you know, the parents' past that they, you know, just can't get rid of. You know, an old mirror, an old punching bag that, you know, is still functional. And I decided to put a little framed jersey up. Maybe Dad was a sports god back in his day. And of course the cobwebs to show it has been a while since that stuff's been touched. And the last thing we're going to work on is this back porch. So I decided to put, you know, a little grilling section for Dad, but also a little bar. And I end up kind of walling it off with the half walls and making a colorful little area with little string lights and stuff for their guests and for the family to, you know, have their little get-togethers. So we are about to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.